Lights up, mics up. Let's get these likes up. Hit that notification bell. Hit that subscribe. What's good, guys? What is good? How we looking? How we sounding? Guys, I want to talk to you. It dawned on me. It dawned on me. I want to have a conversation. I want to have a conversation, gang. This I'm just talking me and you. Just me and you. Zero burn. What's good? Just me and you, guys. This ain't going to be one of them ones that's for everybody. This going to be just me and you. Just me and you, right? Y'all remember that Tony record? Mary Brown, how you doing? Mim, how you doing? Queen B, Nash, Toy, MJ, Intrepid Vixen, Andy Pandy Pie. Guys, Chris, man, how we doing? Zero burn. All right. You don't know. Paula, MJ Rules. Guys, listen. It dawned on me. Your boy, you know what they say. I'm going to be here for a while, guys. Get you some jelly beans or something to calm your stomach. Get you some banana pudding or some creme brulee, something to eat. I'm going to be here for a while. Right? Some sweet peas and corn. Some of you guys like pork chops. If you can rock with me for a while and indulge me, we're going to have a little bit of fun with this one. All right? Tamila, how we doing? 9490, Sean Bates, what's up? KC, Felicia, Chris, man, what's going on, gang? Listen, Elevated Gamer here. Let's see who else we got before we get it cracking. Chris Ladney, guys, listen. You know what they say? The devil's greatest trick is to make you believe he don't exist. I'm sitting here watching a whole lot play out. We got academics running out here like a crash dummy, getting in front of this lawsuit for Drake, right? We got What's the Dirt running out here like a crash dummy for Drake. Before Drake could even defend himself, What's the Dirt running out in the full-on traffic, catching everybody, catching everything for the boy. We got Jay Roebuck and others. Jay Roebuck, I'm calling him the new accountant, ran out trying to defend Drake when from an obvious failure. The OVO got sued for millions that they owed or whatever it was. I don't remember how much it was, but it was a lot, right? I don't remember what it was. That case is 3 weeks ago. We got these guys running out in defense of your boy as fast as they can, right? Started me to thinking. I said, this guy's the master puppet. He's the master puppet. We just saw Drake click like on a video of a guy grabbing a speaker playing Kendrick Lamar in Toronto. I believe it was Toronto. He grabbed the speaker, said, don't play that shit around here. Picked up Homeboy's Bluetooth speaker, cost about $200, slammed it on the ground. Said, don't play that shit around here. And Drake clicked like. Gang, to me, that is inciting chaos. Because right after that, I believe it was 4 Drake fans filmed themselves going through the woods, I believe, somewhere. I don't know where they were. I didn't even fully watch it because it was so dumb. Drake fans going to find Kendrick's house. This just happened 2-3 days ago. Streaming themselves. Salute to Paula with the super chat. I'm just going to be honest. Hats and shirts are available right now. Streamed themselves heading to Kendrick's house. for this, that, or the third. They wanted to knock on his door, play ring ding dong or whatever they was going to do. And when Kendrick came to the door, they was going to give him a few words, right? And Ghost Gaming is right. Homeboy who threw that speaker, that $200 speaker on the ground, oh yeah, he got mopped up, packed out, beat down. Drake, I don't think Drake saw that part of the video because they cut the video. They had one video where the guy who picked up the speaker and slammed it on the ground because they were playing Kendrick. They got one video he won because it went off. After he did that, he cursing everybody out, went off. Drake clicked like on that. I don't know if Drake saw the other video when they caught up with dude, beat the dog snot out of him. Okay? So it got me thinking. I'm like, your boy is from the sidelines. He clicking like on a lot of different things, right? It incites violence. This goes way back to the Joe Budden days. Remember them guys had them, they rolled up on Joe Budden. Joe Budden had a tank top on. He had a wife beater on. He chased him with some rocks. I think they knocked on his door. Ding dong ditch, right? I said, your boy been doing chaos since he got in this business, gang. We're going to be here for a while. Remember the 20v1 narrative? Remember that? 20v1. It was 20v1. Well, I said, you know what, Charles? Let's talk about the 20v1. I pulled up all of the beefs. I want to see why we got 20v1. Because this guy, right? This is just me and you. We just talking between me and you. This guy been doing chaos for years. Chaos for years. Behind the scenes. All the way back before the Controverse, it's been chaos. The master puppeteer. And now he got Maul. He got Academics. What's the Dirt? J. Robach and others. Oh, he got them all on strings, gang. He figured out how to get Academics into that streaming, gambling shit that he been that pyramid scheme. Oh, yeah. The villain, right? He's the villain. I'm going to be here for a while. Water in my cup. Chaos, gang. Do you see where the chaos in 2026? Let's talk about it. We're going to go all the way back to XXXTentacion, but we're going to start here. Multiple lawsuits. Multiple, gang. Multiple lawsuits. Right? Multiple lawsuits. One is for a repayment of funds. They use the OVO brand to retain funds from an agency, and they claim they paid back the principal, but they paid it back. They defaulted on the loans. Then they paid back the principal after they defaulted, and then the narrative spread that they paid it. They paid it early. How you paid it early when you defaulted, right? Toy, appreciate you for running them jewels. This just me and you guys. Don't tell nobody. We just talking. Me and you. We just talking. Ain't no whole lot of nonsense going on. It's just we're gonna talk. Then we got the RICO lawsuit, right? Where they're alleging that they're pushing money through, their money laundering, and they done named DG Academics. They done named Academics TV, aka George Wynn, the Grand Wizard Chat N-word. And homeboy from Stake, they done named them in that for pushing money through the tipping app on Stake. That's a lawsuit. Claiming that they're using that money, they're funneling the money directly to George Wynn, and George Wynn is using that money to make bots, right? And they've already sat down and talked to him in no uncertain terms. He is afraid. Nick Mick with the jewels, running jewels. I appreciate you, right? So we got a lot to discuss, but like I said, keep it on the low. This is just us. Then you got the other lawsuit that they just dropped with homeboy RBX from the old Death Row, the old Aftermath. Remember RBX, RB to the motherfucking X. RBX did a lawsuit against him saying he got proof that they bought him and Spotify and others. right? So we ended up with that. It's all kind of chaos and nonsense. Academics getting out in front of it every damn week. Every other week, you got Maul jumping out in front of it. It's chaos. We're going to talk about it. Every other week, Maul got a new narrative to cover up the last narrative. Oh yeah, he gonna do the FIFA World Cup because he turned the Super Bowl down 3 times. Gang, is chaos all the time. Nonsense narratives all the time. No other rapper on earth has this much chaos and nonsense sitting behind the screen, streaming, gambling. It's so much chaos. I don't think you can put it all into words, but we gonna talk. It's just me and you. Beautiful one, Running Jules, I appreciate you. Paul and Nicole, Running Jules. Intrepid Vixen, Running Jules. Gang, we just talking. Me and you. I told you, the devil greatest trick to believe he don't exist. But Drake's still clicking like on stuff. Do you guys know that Drake has a Finsta? Oh, yeah. What rapper has a Finsta that you know is the rapper? Drake has a Finsta. For all the people in the chat that are good, hardworking civilians that don't understand this lingo, a Finsta is a fake Instagram account where you post and you do all kind of chaos with a pseudonym. They're not supposed to know it's you. Drake has a Finsta, and we know it's him. It's called Plot Twist. And he posted some records on there, some songs on there last year. Leading up to Iceman. Oh, yeah. 100 gigs upon your head top. Drake has a Finsta that we know that is Drake. It ain't like KD, where KD does it, he get caught, he slips up and does something dumb. That's KD. And then you figure it out. Nah. Drake be posting exclusive pictures that only he can have. Exclusive music that only he can have. Right? Now, the one said, Kendrick got a Finsta too. Well, we don't know what Kendrick Finsta is. We don't know. But we know what Plot Twist is. Chaos. He was throwing shots from a Finsta that we know it's you, bro. We can see you. And he still was throwing shots. By the end of this, you're gonna realize that Drake is the most chaotic rapper in the history of hip-hop. Pure chaos, gang. All the time. It's every day is chaos. Wake up, go to sleep. He just posted a couple of days ago. He's standing in front of all of these jerseys in the rafters, all his accomplishments. And he's standing there in the front of it, posting all this stuff, this, that, and the third from his mansion. Just stirring up shit. And you know it caused a lot of controversy. Had them white girls that I said, that might have been, you might have should have left that particular picture out of the Instagram. A lot going on, right? Intrepid Vixen said Drake is a chaotic person. Gang, you got to understand what's going on. And I'm going to get to all of those 20v1 beefs. I got them all pulled up. XXXTentacion, Kanye, Baby King, all of them. We're going to get to all of them. We're going to figure it out. Toy with the jewels, sunshine, right? It's sheer chaos. Jordan said Kendrick got a Finsta, but as well, no, I don't see him doing nothing chaotic on there. Do you? I saw Drake turn a promo into chaos. I saw dudes out there with blow torches, licking ice, losing their damn mind. 350 tons of ice. And you would think most people would just go down to the ice, take some pictures. No. Drake let him climb on it, lick it. It became a real thing. Chaos. It's chaos. Right? We've been seeing chaos since XXXTentacion. Just madness. Madness. And we're going to get to that. He got attack dogs, flunkies that run out. Not just the well-known ones like Maul and Rory to a degree. Academics and Academics TV. Not just those that you could see. It's thousands of them on Twitter. And a lot of them are getting paid, gang. Let's just be honest. There's a big budget for this. When you watch The Wiz, you see the flying monkeys. When you watch The Wiz, you see the flying monkeys. Side note, The Wiz is a weird movie now that I'm older. Side note. But you watch The Wiz, you see the flying monkeys. The witch sends them out. And they go out and cause all kind of chaos. That's what it's like to go on Twitter. I could run stories for 2 weeks straight that don't say nothing about Drake. Soon as the name I write Drake and pop up, boy, the flying monkeys come in like gangbusters. Warriors. They come in. And a lot of them have no other reason other than they're getting paid. But it be grown men, gang. Grown men. Flying monkeys. Running in to call me this, that, and the third. Miss Hummus, how you doing? Running in quick to call me this, that, and the third. Not when I talk about nobody else. No. As soon as you mention this guy's name, they come running. It's crazy. And a lot of them are getting paid, and a lot of them are from other countries that have no vested interest to be this ridiculous. Karen, how you doing? Lydia, Miss Tiny, Chapo. It is absolute, unequivocal chaos, guys. When I step back, I try to think of a rapper that has even a third of this nonsense. I'm like, Meek Mill, LL Cool J, like who comes close? Who comes close to this level of consistent year after year in the news, in the media, with chaos? Constantly dissing LeBron still. And at this, and let's be honest, when we think about this, dissing LeBron might be more advantageous to Drake than anybody else. Because you're dissing arguably one of the greatest basketball players ever. And guess what happens every time he diss him? We might have been looking at this wrong. It's instant promo for him. Instant promo to keep dissing LeBron. Chaos. We're going to get to everything. I'm going to be here. Hydrate. Nick Mick running Jules. Appreciate you with the Jules. Bethany. Listen, man. Listen. What I'm seeing is a man incapable, right? Karen, yeah, you're right. Kanye is definitely chaotic, but guess what? Kanye chills sometime, right? And Kanye, who's a Kanye minion out here like on the level of academics? See, Drake don't gotta actually do the chaos. He's sending out flying monkeys. Kanye, yeah, he get on his phone and he go crash out. Bang, bang, bang. 24-hour manic episode. 48 hours straight. Then the nigga fall asleep. Right? He fall asleep. He's out. Chaos averted. At that point, Kim could go sleep. When he was with Kim, she'd go grab the phone. 2 days, you don't hear from Kanye. That's not like this with this guy. This guy got minions, gang. He got flying monkeys all over the place that will degrade themselves. They will emasculate themselves. Right? You had one guy, I think it was Academic, said he searched for a picture of Drake's meat. And Playboy, Black Boy Max said he searched for Drake's meat when the picture came out. That's chaos, gang. He put a picture of himself. Who you think leaked Drake's meat? And what rapper would do that? Guys, you got to understand the level of chaos we're talking. This is next level, gang. I don't know if Kanye ever leaked his own meat. And I'll let you guys say pause for me. Jordan, salute you for the super chat. Gang, we can have a conversation. Just me and you talking. Just me and you. In Game of Thrones, there was a saying, chaos is a ladder. That is 100% fact. 100% fact. And like I said, he got enough minions. He doesn't even turn podcasters into minions, gang. Do you guys realize all of last year before Iceman came out, we had a bunch of old head podcasters, Bag, Fuel, Jim Jones, even Joe Budden to a degree, pining for that album? Going down a rabbit hole of trying to defame Kendrick every other month because they wanted that album. They wanted Drake back outside. Remember that? He has flying monkeys to do the bidding. He don't need to be there every day. We just established there's a Finsta doing chaos. We got celebrities, what we call them, influencers, commentators doing, running all kind of drills for them soon as something happens. And then we got the paid people from overseas. I'm pretty sure that's why Twitter implemented that thing where you had to show where you're from, because it got out of hand. It wasn't just for Drake, it was MAGA and everything else. A lot of that stuff was coming from, they pay overseas people in these destitute countries to sit there. Oh yeah, you need Wi-Fi, we got you. They put the Wi-Fi on and everything else, right? It is a circle of chaos with a lot of money to fund it. Can't think of nobody with this much money behind constant online appearance. The narrative reverse, gang. Like, let me just say this. Rewind, right? Like they doing, like I'm gonna say it again, like they did in Hamilton. Rewind, right? When they rewind it back, we're gonna rewind. Let's go back. Search your feelings. Around that time of Not Like Us, video drop. It was banana brains. Everything was, dot was up, right? Drake was down. Admittedly, career was in a serious trouble. Let's rewind. Career was in so much trouble. A lot of us commentators were saying that we don't know if Drake could ever recover. And it sounds crazy now, but at the time, oh boy, it was bad for a long time. That's why he called his lawyers, gang. If the narrative today was the same as it was in 2024, there would have been no call to the lawyers. Oh, it was bad, gang. I don't know if you guys remember. It was tough. That's why the lawyers were called. Because at that point in time, had it stayed like that, he can prove that there was damages, because it was. He couldn't drop nothing at that time. He could have tried. But the longer it went, especially after he got his lawyers involved, just that and the third, oh, his rep was in the mud. Oh, yeah, it was bad. Now, what do you do in a time like that? There was a show called Scandal, right? Kerry Washington, Scandal. And the show would open up with somebody getting into a scandal. And what would happen when that person got into that scandal? They would call Carrie. I don't remember her name on this show. First thing she would do, get her team. And I'm going to get to that, Karen. He did put some stuff out. He never stopped. 100 gigs upon your head top and all that, right? What did I miss and all that? And none of that really popped. But we're gonna get there because it was a process. Olivia Pope. You would call Olivia Pope, and what would she do? She would get her ragtag team, and they would start a plan. And they would start to reverse. They would start to challenge your narrative, right? B said Drake did drop music, Guan Delilah. Okay, we're going to get there. Olivia Pope. Great show to the last season. Right? Olivia Pope. And they would start to get out in front of it. They would get out in front of whatever's going on, right? And at that point, she would start changing the storyline. She would start to reverse whatever narratives were being spewed about you. And what they would do is start to get the word out that that's not exactly true. And what we saw over the last 2 years, because by the time he dropped Iceman, it was reversed. But I saw it in real time. I was saying it a year before Iceman dropped. I said, gang, you don't feel something? You could tell something's going on online where they're overpowering the consensus. Whatever we thought for the last year, it feels like everything on Twitter and everywhere else is challenging that. And you can't say with certainty no more that that's the consensus anymore. It feels like people don't feel that way no more. And it's almost a clear road for him to come back, because for a while their stuff wasn't working. They were putting out mad stuff. It wasn't working, gang. He put out episode 1, 2, and 3, and they didn't really get there. Didn't really get there. But the narrative slowly started to change, and people started to look forward to Iceman. At one point, Iceman, they were like, this shit sound corny. And as you started to look on your Twitter, it was a lot of pro Drake, a lot of anti-Kendrick. I was like, oh, I see what's going on. They're reversing the narrative. They're making Kendrick into the bad guy. This was a battle, but somehow he did it worse. Somehow what he said and did was out of bounds. Oh, I see. They're defending this lawsuit. The weirdest lawsuit in hip-hop history. Oh, they're defending that. Again, I can't make this shit up. They are defending a lawsuit against a rapper. They're going to say, it's Challz, it's against UMG. We get all that. But it's over what a rapper said in a battle. It's no way around it. So, end of the day, we had a rapper sue over what words were said against him in a battle. And that's exactly what it is. Your music diva hit it on the head. Revisionist history. Because it became not a issue of hip-hop no more. It was an issue of slander and defamation, and you guys don't know what you're talking about. I'm suing the company, not the man. You guys don't understand. All right? Remember that line? You guys don't understand. I'm suing the label, not the man. And I started to see it slowly, because at first, it was the worst thing you could do. We were across the board. Okay, this is dumb. But slowly but surely, they reversed the narrative, and they did their Olivia Pope thing. And we got to a point where, okay, guys, let's just see how this plays out. Then it became, they were eager for this album. And we, like I said, a lot of the podcasters started to make it not about the lawsuit no more. It's about Kendrick went too far. I don't like the gossip. It's supposed to be a battle. B, it was turned into gossip. I don't like it. Quite a couple of people that I respect turned into that, started to spin that narrative. I don't like it, B. So then we started to get the Olivia Pope treatment. It started to turn into, okay, this is a business thing. So let's just leave it to the business people. Right? Not to mention, we started to get a lot of very, very anti-Kendrick posts. If you search your feelings, I saw at least 20 anti-Kendrick posts a day from clearly paid accounts. Especially when he was doing this tour. They got up every morning. Jen, I appreciate you for the jewels. Chapo for the jewels. They got up every morning, Babyface for the jewels. every morning talking about Kendrick's tour, how it wasn't selling out, how it was empty seats, how he just couldn't get it done, how it was SZA's tour and not his. It was all day, every day, slandering that man. Do you guys know that Drake requested UMG hand over any knowledge of Kendrick doing criminal acts? He wanted that. They wanted to see his contract and splits. Gang, it was crazy. They wanted any and everything they could to slander that man. It was in the in the paperwork. They wanted everything. They wanted to get anything on this guy that they could, because that's how you reverse narrative. You Olivia Pope. You make the other guy the bad guy. Kind of what they're trying to do with Nolan Wells. You got to make them the bad guy. Right? So here we are. He's the bad guy now. And this other guy is say it with me, a victim. They turned him into a victim, guys. He became a victim. And you saw Maul. Man, you put that jacket on anybody, you deserve it. What you get? F that. I can't jack with it. You can't put that jacket on another man. It became a victim. Victim of the label. The label's out to get him. Made a whole narrative that they sat down and made Dot say the things that he said. They made a narrative that Lucian Grange, it got so crazy that Lucian Grange had a meeting with him and gave him word for word what to say. That's how crazy it got. And this guy all of a sudden was a victim. And you start seeing the narrative, well, gang, if somebody said that about me, I would probably sue too. People that's unrelated to hip hop, they don't know this. They don't know this business. This culture. It's a rattle. It's a battle. You're gonna say mean things to each other in the battle. He said some mean stuff to him, but somehow, some way, he became the victim, right? And Dot became the aggressor. You saw it. What's the Dirt now? Just recently, well, it's been for over the past year or so. What's the Dirt was deployed in full force. He got videos and everything saying that now it's to the point that Kendrick is leading a hate train. By the time they finished this Olivia Pope, Kendrick was leading a hate train, and all the commentators like myself and others, all we did was spew hate in the culture. Y'all remember that? Wasn't that long ago. I just did a video on it. What's the Dirt had a video. He put a collection of all the hateful commentators. I was the first one in the video. Me, Jay Nolan, Absa, and all these other people. Right? Big Zoe, all these other people. They made a whole compilation of the hateful commentators that were created and egged on by Kendrick, who was the biggest hater in rap. It became a point where it was a hateful movement against this guy, and he's just a victim. It became crazy. And Maul, I don't like it. Nobody likes you could talk about anything but except him. Because he's some kind of victim. Right? And guess what? Right around that time, when they fully cemented that, it took them 2 years, gang. Let's just be honest. It took a while. Them episodes ain't hit like they thought. Every record they dropped on them episodes didn't do it. He released an R&B album. Right? He got that record to go to number 2. They went and took a couple weeks. They all focused on that record, Nokia, because they thought it was going to be another record. Couch Potato with the Jewels. They thought it was going to be another record. The other record didn't work. What was the first record? Give Me a Hug, I think. I'm not sure. But the first record they dropped didn't work. They thought it was the single, didn't work. So they went and they did a powwow. They decided it was going to be No Kid. They focused on that, got that to number 2. But it took a lot of work for that. So they still wasn't ready. They wasn't ready yet. When they dropped that, then they dropped that Some Sexy Songs for You for Valentine's Day of 2025. Wasn't quite ready yet, guy. We give it a little more time. A little more narrative bending. A little more Olivia Pope. A little more Olivia Pope. Wasn't ready. Wasn't quite ready. The pot wasn't cooked already yet. Right? Let me get to this super chat. My bad, Dewey. Did you see that clip of XXX saying to DJ Academics that Drake tried to sacrifice him? Yes. And we're going to get to XXX and Tentacion. We're going to get to that. Appreciate you for that super chat, Dewey. Nick Mick with the jewels, running jewels. Right? CNI said, yep, it was Give Me a Hug was first. Right? Give Me a Hug was the record they thought was going to blow. It didn't work. So they put out Nokia. They told everybody affiliated with OVO, but they didn't have enough to get it to number 1. It got to number 2. They focused on that thing for 4 weeks. They said, don't stream nothing else, just like they did with Hibbity Bibbity and Maid of Honor. They said, cut your losses. Don't stream nothing else, just stream Iceman. Don't worry about Hibbity Bibbity. We'll come back around to that. They left Hibbity Bibbity and Maid of Honor out there to defend for themselves. They focused on it. So all of that stuff, gang, was not working. And it got to a point, right? As a commentator, I was not forced, but I was giving my opinion. And what had happened at that time, from what I was seeing, nothing wasn't really sticking, gang. They had dropped, this was 2025, they had dropped What Did I Miss, which did moderately. Then they dropped Which One, which didn't do well. I told you they were arguing amongst themselves in that OVO group that I was in, that they kicked me out of. I was secretly in that group, but I couldn't hold it back. I started leaking stuff. And I leaked one too many things on Twitter, and they were like, who's the mod? Get this guy. Who's the admin of this group? OVO Sound or whatever it was. They kicked me out and blocked. But before I got kicked out, I saw that they were arguing amongst themselves about the record, Which One. They wasn't sure that was the right record, and it wasn't. And by the time episode 3 dropped, gang, by the time episode 3 dropped, they try to push Doghouse featuring what's homeboy's name? Yeet. Is it Yeet? I could be wrong. I think it's Yeet and another artist. And Doghouse did dog shit. It was real bad. Gang, at that point, it was an all-time low for all things Drake. He dropped that single with what's her name? Cabello or something, Camila Cabello, right? Am I saying that right or wrong? Right? Camila Cabello, I think that's her name. Wasn't no stimulus package. If you wanted the record to flop, then get Drake on it. Because when they put it out that Camila Cabello record, that thing was double wood, triple plastic. That's when it was cooked. Julia Wolf was the other artist on Doghouse, and Doghouse flopped real bad. Gang, it was an all-time low. And that's when I said, right? I said it, and they try to bring it up against me again this year, gang. Poetic Flacco and J. Roebuck did a hit piece on me, gang. They try to say, this YouTuber thought that Drake was going to do 150. Y'all remember that? They try to take me out, gang. You can't take me out, gang. You can't take me out. I knew it was bad when Poetic Flacco did a story on me. I said, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. These niggas scared. Right? Poetic Flacco did a story on me, tried to take me out. It's a fact. I did a response video and all that. But around that time, when I said that I was spitballing, I was doing a video, and I rewatched the video. I said, Charles, you ain't say nothing wrong. Around that time, I said, if Drake drop Iceman right now, this was last, I want to say October, November. I said, things ain't going well. If Drake drop Iceman right now, surprise drop, that shit going to do 150, 225. That's what I said. They try to throw that back up at me. It's whatever. Because at that time, they had just dropped Doghouse Gang, and that thing didn't even break the 100. Guys, you got to understand where it was. Oh, it was bad. So if you rewind, it was really bad, gang. All right? If you rewind, it was really bad. So what I'm saying is, at the time, they wasn't doing well. They wasn't. And They needed that narrative to get removed and changed around, right? And what they started doing, the Olivia Pope started to work. You got to give it enough time. And as it started to go, people started to change their opinion and da-da-da. So by the time Iceman, they really got it ready because it started to be, you could just feel it, gang. It was better for him. You can just feel it. I would go on Twitter and I would see the comments. I was like, oh yeah, I can feel it. Right now, they've got enough people out in front of this thing. He could literally drop right now. When they actually dropped Iceman, they gave that the release date of May 15th. I was like, yeah. About that time, I could tell they had reversed the narrative enough. And I went on the company, man. I went on to Culture United. And we had the same question again. What do you think Iceman's going to do? And I said, Iceman will probably do, I believe I said 450, something crazy like that. I believe I said that. I was right. Had he dropped in November, it would have been 152.25. By the time it came out in May of 2026, they had already reversed their narrative. They had already got people to feel like this guy was victimized. His label went against. They had reversed it all. They took enough time. They wasn't as mad no more. And then J. Cole surprise dropped the fall off. So it was like, holy shit. And that did well. So that was like a test drive. It's like, oh, this whole debacle's over. The whole thing is over. By the time J. Cole dropped the fall off, that was a test run. And it worked. I mean, he almost self-sabotaged himself with them weird-ass interviews. But other than that, it was good. So at the end of the day, Drake knew the coast was clear. He put that paper in that block of ice, had Homeboy go chip at the ice, which was all stage, gang. We know that. It is what it is, right? It was all stage. Wasn't no paper in the ice the day before. And the next day, they were licking at the ice, kicking at it, hitting it with ice picks, blow torches. Wasn't no paper in the ice. All of a sudden, next morning, Homeboy, the only one allowed to get in that spot, he grabs the paper out. He happens to be a friend of Aiden Ross. But that's not a setup. It is what it is. We get it. You got to control the narrative. You can't have somebody like my ass go find the damn paper. Right? End of the day, by the time everything had cooled off, the lawsuit had been dismissed, right? Toy with the Jews. By the time that happened, it was a different world. Even the commentators, because at one point you couldn't get 99% of rappers to comment on Drake. But toward the end of that, everybody started coming out with support. Remember, Lil Baby had her selfie, right, with Drake. I've been chosen side. So everybody now, coast is clear. They have reversed their narrative effectively. It got to a point where, okay, this Iceman thing's coming, right? What's homeboy Stevie? What's homeboy Stevie? Some the black dude, goofy nigga. He went in, and now he came out and apologized for turning on Drake. So everything had changed. Everybody had reversed course. They had reversed the narrative effectively, and now you can step outside and say you still like the guy. At one point, they wouldn't say nothing. You could ask them a direct question, and they wouldn't even stand up for him. That's why they started saying 20v1, because nobody was standing with him. Even Diddy had Stevie J, right? Priscilla said Stevie Knight. That guy came out reverse. I thought it was a joke. I never thought I would see somebody say, I apologize to the rapper because I stood on the other rap. Is what happened, gang? Well, they won't take that dude serious anyway. Let's just be honest. Who takes him serious? Who listens to him? Who watches that shit? Right? You wouldn't be watching me if you watched that shit. I'm just gonna be honest. So end of the day, it was a complete, right? How Eminem say, a complete 360, right? Remember y'all got on Eminem so bad because he said a complete 180. You guys, if you do 180, you'll be right back where you were. You'll be going the other way, some shit. No, he said a 360, and you're supposed to say 180. You guys got on Eminem for saying whatever. End of the day, we saw the entire narrative get the Olivia Pope treatment, and it was safe to come outside. Boy, did big numbers, and I admitted on the company, man, I felt the change. I said, listen, this ain't last year. This ain't 100 gigs on your head top. They've effectively got in front of this, right? End of the day. End of the day. So when we got to that, it was sheer chaos with that. I didn't have the right setup. I tried to go live that night, and it just was slow. But I tried to show you they were live from that block of ice. It was chaos. And he allowed it because the more chaos, the crazier it got. Right? The more chaos, the crazier it got, the more they had the zeitgeist. And they spent millions on that, King. The ice, the turning of the tower blue, a whole lot of nonsense. They iced out the seats at the arena. They did a lot of stuff they paid a lot of money to make that album do what it did. Out of his pocket, admittedly. Several millions in the yeah, is up there. So, end of the day, we saw manufactured chaos. But what I want to do right here, right? Just me and you. Since it's just me and you, we'll have a conversation, right? 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Stay hydrated. This whole narrative of a victim was solidified with the term 20v1. 20v1. And we never really dissected how we got so-called 20v1. And we got a We Don't Trust You album 1 and 2. Ironically, him and Future working together again. We got We Don't Trust You 1 and 2. We got Like That record. And we got a whole lot of people coming out the woodwork celebrating his downfall, his demise, according to him. Right? How we get there? How do we get to 20v1? Let's talk about it. The 20v1, and I was saying this through the whole battle, is because the Master of Chaos earned every single one of those 20. Every single one of them. To play, he wants to play the game a certain kind of way. He wants to have the cake and eat it too, right? In my opinion. And let's be honest, some of those, he maybe didn't earn them fully, but he jumped in with both feet when he got them. Some of those beefs. We're going to get to it. Diddy, Pusha, Jay-Z, all of that. We're going to get to all of that. So I pulled it up. I said, let's talk about it. And I'm still going to miss some, right? He beat up his ghostwriter. Quentin Miller got him jumped. Beat up, was it Drum? Got him jumped. And they did nothing but try to make it in the music business. They got their stuff stolen, allegedly. But let's go back. Let's go back. One of the 20v1s, one of the darkest ones, right? And he ain't even around to be a one. He's not here. But this is an example of chaos. Drake's beef with XXXTentacion. Some people say it took a dark turn, but we have no way of proving any of that. But we're going to talk about this, right? And I pulled up every single one because I want to read it. I don't want to wing it. I want to read what happened because this stuff has intricate twists and turns. And I do not want to miss anything. Nick Mick said, poor Miller. Quentin Miller just dropped the album a few weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken. Right? But we're going to get to that. I want to start with XX. Right? Quentin Miller, Bean, Vori, Lil Yachty is a lot. Is a lot. A lot going on. Right? Let's talk about it. Drake's beef with XXXTentacion, real name Josiah Onfroy, is one of the most tragic and dark chapters in modern hip-hop history. Gang, I'm going to be honest. I like some of XXX's music. I'm just going to keep it a buck with you. I think he was a very talented individual, and he would have given Drake a run for his money had he been around. But let me continue. What began as a dispute over stolen musical flow quickly morphed into a chaotic social media campaign, and following XXXTentacion's death, fueled intense internet conspiracy theories. Number one, the KMT Flow dispute. This was 2017. The feud began when XXX was incarcerated in the early 2017. Drake previewed an unreleased track called KMT during a concert in Europe. Fans immediately noticed that Drake's vocal cadence and triplet flow on KMT sounded identical to XXXTentacion's breakout underground hit, Look at Me. The backlash was in a jailhouse interview. XXX slammed Drake, calling him a bitch, and accused him of stealing his style without giving him credit or offering a collaboration. Drake denied the allegations in an interview with DJ Simtex, claiming he had never heard of XXXTentacion or Look at Me before recording that track. XXX repeatedly posted memes on Instagram and X mocking Drake's appearance, questioning his toughness, and making crude jokes about his mom, Sandy Grant. Drake mostly ignored the online trolling publicly, but fans noted a subtle retaliation, such as Drake releasing a single, I'm upset, on the exact same night XXX dropped new music. In February 2018, a post appeared on XXX Instagram story that, quote, if anybody tries to kill me, it was Champagne Poppy. The post was deleted shortly after, and X claimed his account had been severely hacked and that he harbored no real fear of Drake. Gang, we don't believe the hack. I don't know if anybody's account was ever really hacked when they say that. Let's be honest. On 2018, he was tragically shot and killed during an armed robbery outside a motorcycle dealership in Deerfield Beach, Florida. Because of their past internet friction, internet sleuths immediately began coming at Drake's music hidden message, such as Sicko Mode and I'm Upset. Gang, it's chaos. Chaos right there. I feel like that's chaos. That's just a drop in the bucket. So we can go right there, right? Miss Tiny say he stole his whole mother effing flow. He had already, allegedly, according to X, he had already reached out to X before he dropped it. They were supposed to work together before he even dropped the record. Before he even dropped the record, they were supposed to have, he's supposed to be on it. X was excited. That's why X was so mad, because he's like, why you reach out to me? And it's not the first time. It ain't the last time somebody said he reached out. This just happened with the damn Iceman record. Somebody claims he reached out to, what's the white rapper? It's a white rapper. I think he's out of Florida. I think Drake and him reached out to him, and he's supposed to jump on the record, and he ended up not putting him on the record, and he put the record out without him. So we're still there. All right? To me, that's just more chaos and fuel to the fire. So we're going to keep this pushing. I told you, we're going to pull up all of these chaotic moments in this chaotic hip-hop life. Even though I call Drake a pop star. He's a pop star. Ain't nothing, no debate. Ain't nothing wrong with being a pop star. Shawn Mendes, that can rap. All right? So let's get to Kanye. One of the most chaotic beefs we have ever seen. Ended up with the, he did a concert, right? Did a whole concert, which I have to say, a lot of you say, oh, Kanye killed Drake. Drake didn't want to be there, gang. Didn't want to be there. He got muscled into that. He got muscled into that. Didn't want to be there, gang. 1900 Rugrat, right? Was that who he took the music from? 1900, and you guys never, not you guys, because we know, but these guys never believe these new artists when they say it happened to them, right? There was something off of, what record that came out last year? And Homeboy came out, he had the whole beat and everything. I think it was, the record where he got the video where they're in the mall. End of the day, Homeboy had already did the record. He had the whole flow. He took the words and everything from Homeboy. And when Homeboy came out and said, Drake stole this from me, they killed that kid. They was like, yo, you're lying. No, they don't want to believe any of this. It's 20,000 references, but no one wants to believe it. But let's get to Ye, right? Let's get to Kanye. Yet another public feud in a life of chaos. Now, let's it compared to Jay-Z, right? Jay-Z will have the same feuds and won't have none of the responses, none of the nonsense, none of the chaos. All right, let's get to Ye. Drake's long-standing feud with Ye is rooted in volatile idols become rivals dynamic, marked by professional jealousy, personal betrayals, and calculated release date warfare. Though they initially shared a mentor-protege relationship, the beef evolved over a decade into a deeply personal grudge. This is supposedly an idol, right, that became a rival. Let's talk about it. Now, we know that this stuff began before this, but this starts at the 2018 Wyoming betrayal. This was they had friction before Wyoming, gang. Let's just be honest. The feud exploded into a permanent hostility during the 2018 recording session in Wyoming. Again, they was beefing way before that. The Secret Son leak. Drake played an unreleased track for Kanye detailing his secret child. Shortly after, Kanye's artist Pusha T released the devastating diss track, The Story of Adidon, exposing Drake's son to the world. Drake firmly believed Kanye leaked the private information to Pusha T. Kanye promised Drake the beat for Lift Yourself, but instead released it himself with the nonsensical Poopity Scoop lyrics to block Drake from using it. Gang, the funny thing about that is I was cooking Kanye for that song because I didn't know that was only against Drake. The funny thing about that record, when you get into a guy's mind that goes and says, poopity scoop, and he released the record, and then you realize it's only to piss homeboy off, then you're like, oh, now I understand. It was the dumbest shit. I think I got a video cooking that song, cooking the shit out of that song. It's still dumb, right? But when you realize I didn't do this for none of y'all, I did it for him. I did it to irritate him, right? I did it to irritate him. That's when you realize, okay, this dude really psycho. Drake accused Kanye of intentionally scheduling a wave of good music album rollouts, including Ye and Daytona, to step on the release date of Scorpion, right? The rivalry reached absurd heights ahead of their competing 2021 albums, Certified Lover Boy and Donda. Kanye posted a screenshot of a text chain featuring a picture of the Joker, warning Drake, you'll never recover. There's a lot of chaos, gang. In a highly publicized escalation, Kanye posted Drake's private Toronto home address on Instagram. Drake responded by dropping a video of himself laughing it off in a convertible. Gang, let me just say this. Some dudes you can't out-troll them. Can't out-troll a crazy nigga. You can't out-troll the Joker. You can't out-troll somebody who don't care. Can't win. So Drake was surely doing stuff to this man behind the scenes, doing a lot of little this, that, and the third. Just like when I'm about to bring it up right now, the Kim Kardashian rumors. Drake routinely poked at Kanye's insecurities by dropping lyrics implying he had a romantic relationship with Kanye's then wife Kim Kardashian, notably via the songs Kiki, right? The line Kiki in the song In My Feelings. And that's not the only one. So they was back and forth with it. But at one point he realized this guy does way too much. You can't beat Kanye in trolling because he's psycho. He's gonna go further than you. He's gonna do more. He's gonna post your house on Instagram, all kind of nonsense. All right, so let me continue. They had a fake truce, right? They briefly stood side by side December 2021 for the Free Larry Hoover benefit concert, but the peace did not last. In 2023, Drake dropped Red Button. It's a track calling out Kanye for insincere olive branches, rapping that every time Ye called the truce, it was premeditated to build up leverage. It's true. Ye truces with Drake, they was premeditated and they was bullshit. I'm gonna be honest. They was. The Like That remix, right? When the entire rap industry turned against Drake in 2024. I just told you that happened. 2024 was a very bad year, gang. Not to mention, OVO is on record. We just saw the lawsuit that said OVO lost millions in 2024. I wonder why, right? They lost millions. That's when they took out the loans. Guys, you got to understand what's going on. 2024 was a very bad year. Very bad year for the boy. But let me continue. When the entire rap industry turned against Drake in 2024, Kanye eagerly joined the dog pile, dropping a remix to Kendrick Lamar's Like That to mock Drake's music contract and label deals. Then you got to remember, he did all that. Then he went and went at Dot right after that. So it's like, what? Let me continue. Kanye has remained vocal about Drake, stating that while he considers Drake a vastly important artist, he harbors resentment toward him compared to other peers. So that right there is more, that sounds like just a lot of chaos to me, gang. We're one of the biggest artists in the world. back and forth, right? A free Larry Hoover concert is insane. That's just, we just talked about two artists. That right there, some artists' career don't have that much chaos for their entire career with two type of rappers. That's just two of them. Let's get the Pusha T. Let's get the Pusha T, which we know that stirred up because of Wayne. Him jumping in there about Wayne. Let's read it. Drake's beef with Pusha T is widely considered the most devastating and divisive loss of his career. It's a pure hip-hop blood feud that spanned over a decade, transitioning from passive-aggressive subliminal records into an all-out character assassination. And you know what it is, guys? You got to understand. Drake told, what's her name? Angie Martinez. He told Angie Martinez, he said, nobody wants to see my pen. When it's wartime, then it's wartime. If I got to show my pen, I'll show it. He told Angie Martinez he was ready for beef. So he carried it like that. And he did those subliminals because he felt he could beat anybody. As a rapper, you're supposed to. So all them subliminals was going to lead to a war at some point because he was going to get more and more aggressive. And the person he's beefing with is going to do the same thing. So it turned into all-out war. Let me continue. The tension originally started as a proxy war involving Drake's mentor, Lil Wayne. Pusha T's duo, Clips, released Mr. Me Too, mocking Lil Wayne for supposedly copying their style and luxury streetwear trends. That was in 2006. In 2012, Drake signed, after he signed to Cash Money, they was already going back and forth. Pusha T dropped Exodus 2023-1. The track openly mocked Drake's record contract and warned that his label bosses, Birdman and Lil Wayne, were taking all his money. I don't think Pusha T lied when he said that, gang. Okay? But it is a diss nonetheless. It is a diss nonetheless. So we had that. Him and Pusha T were at odds. Let me continue. This video is for posterity, so we all know in the future, right? In 2016 through 2018, Drake started coming back. As he reached global superstardom, the underlying resentment turned explicit over questions of rap authenticity. 2016, two birds, one stone. Drake directly questioned Pusha T's street credibility, rapping that Pusha exaggerated his drug dealing past. Drake mocked him, saying, quote, "You made a couple chops, now you think you Chapo." Okay? And then back in 2018, Pusha came back with Infrared. He retaliated on Daytona by attacking Drake's biggest vulnerability, his use of the ghostwriter Quentin Miller. Poor Quentin Miller. Tragic, one of the most tragic tales in hip-hop history. That will be something that they talk about in hushed tones and light candles for a man's career who was talented that it never went where he wanted it to be. Then in 2018, Drake fired back, which was the same year, within hours, defending his pen, demanding an invoice from Pusha T for giving him promotional relevance, and crucially, mentioning the name of Pusha T's fiancée, Virginia Williams. Remember when Drake said, y'all, he's sending an invoice over? He's sending an invoice over to Pusha T because he made him relevant. Mention that man's wife, and voila, death, dead people, right? So we continue. By mentioning Pusha T's fiance, Drake broke an unwritten rule of battle rap. Didn't special 38 Specialists do the same thing with Chrissy? All right, causing Pusha T to drop all restraint. Days later, Pusha T released the story of Adidon, completely dismantling Drake's public image. He revealed to the world that Drake had a secret child, which was a knockout blow. He revealed his Adidas strategy, and he had some cruel personal attacks, which he used a real controversial photo of Drake in blackface, which how that ever happened, I would never know, right? We know why he did the blackface. It's for so-called some promotional thing that they wanted to, it was a documentary or something, da-da-da-da. And in newsflash, Mos Def did it overseas in France. I think he did the same thing. So it is what it is. It was for a certain reason. It is what it is. But let me finish. He mocked the terminal illness multiple sclerosis of Drake's closest friend and producer, Noah 40 should be. To which Drake said he could never, ever forgive Pusha T for what he said about 40. Said he can never forgive it, never will. They'll never shake hands like him and Meek Mill. They'll never make up. They'll never collab. They'll never work together again. Right? Miss Tiny said at least Drake finally graduated high school in 2012. Okay. So that was that. Then he had a Cold War, right? And this, that, and the third. Okay, so I want to get to the main attraction. It's a lot of rappers to get to, but we're going to talk about Dot. The beef between yet another rapper. When you got this many beefs, at some point, it's you. Don't they say that? If you got a whole bunch of people coming at you, at some point, you the problem. Right? The beef between Drake and Kendrick Lamar is widely considered the most significant high-stakes rap war in hip-hop history. What began as a decades-long Cold War over who deserved the crown of their generation escalated into an explosive, deeply personal conflict that permanently altered the music landscape and eventually spilled into federal courtrooms, gang. It is one day they're going to tell this story of this battle, and they're going to talk about this thing ending up in court. And Judge Jeanette Vargas having to settle it and explain to Drizzy that we don't sue over rapping. One day that's going to go down in history as the most insane thing that ever happened in hip hop. But here we are. We got a lawsuit on the books over a rap battle, right? Memphis said it's about to be a surgical summer. Tick, tick, tick. That man is sick, sick, sick. Nasty work indeed, right? Nasty work indeed. Couch potato with the jewels. We running jewels all day. All right? The Cold War era from 2013 to 2023, gang, that's 10 years of Cold War. Initially, the two were collaborators, with Kendrick appearing on Drake's album Take Care in 2011. However, the competitive friction quickly turned sour. And I'll say this again, my own conspiracy. I think Dot started to look at sideways at Drake way back when Drake took that picture with his arm on his shoulder. Look up that picture with Dot and Drake got his arm on his shoulder. He's trying to literally little bro him in that picture. He's trying to son him. Right? He's trying to son him. And I think, personally, gang, I was listening to Context Clues in Not Like Us and in Meet the Grams. There's some context clues. Guys, I'm going to be honest. They'll never say this. But I think Drake tried to pull a fast one on Dot. He tried to offer to sign him, gang. I'm just going to be honest. I'm just listening to the context clues. I think he said something crazy, and I think that's why Dot's like, are you my friend? Are we locked in? I think Drake said that to him at some point. That's why he says that. Are we locked in? Are you my friend? He tried to son him, do some dirt, try to get some kind of deal with him, and he tried to play him. Just a personal opinion, guys. I have nothing to back that up. Right? Nothing to back that up. And yes, Buried Alive is where I think he started to see something in Drake's lifestyle that he didn't want nothing to do with. Let me continue. The Control verse, 2013. Kendrick shocked the industry by dropping a guest verse on Big Sean's Control, explicitly naming Drake and other rappers while stating his intention was to lyrically murder them. Drake dismissed the verse publicly, sparking a decade of passive-aggressive subliminal shots back and forth in their music, such as tuck the sensitive rapper back in their pajama clothes, one of the greatest freestyle lines I think I may have heard. One of, there's a bunch of them. Gang, and I've been saying for years, but I recently, side note, I see your super chat. I'm going to get to that right now. I recently, and tell me if I missed anybody's super chat too. I recently, right? I recently had to realize almost all of those rappers on the Control verse were hurt. I went years saying Drake was the only one hurt. He don't get hip hop, da da da. But as you look around, like a lot, I think Cole was hurt, very hurt. Jay Electronica was hurt. Big Sean was hurt because he whatever, and apparently Lupe Fiasco was hurt because he wasn't mentioned. So I'm like, Charles, you might got to rethink that narrative. I think all the niggas that got mentioned on there in one way or another, they didn't take it in good stride, gang. So maybe it was a industry wide thing that they felt the way. And Drake was just one of the ones who couldn't control that what he said about it. He's the biggest one mentioned. All right, let me continue. The ghostwriting weapon, right? When Drake faced, this is 2015, when Drake faced allegations of using ghostwriters, Kendrick used tracks like King Kunta to subtly mock artists who don't write their own material, striking at Drake's artist credibility. Gang, we all knew who he's talking about. A rapper with a ghostwriter? What the fuck happened? Right? We knew who he was talking about. Big Three. The Big Three spark in 2023. J. Cole released a track with Drake called First Person Shooter, celebrating himself, Drake, and Kendrick as the Big Three of modern rap. You guys accepted it. You didn't challenge it. You said, you know what? He's right. You guys accepted it. We had to accept it as a collective. We had no choice in the matter. We all had to accept it. We had to start using that term. Don't lie. You started talking about, well, the Big Three. Stop lying. We all had to accept it. It was forced into the it was forced into the culture until Kendrick removed it. Kendrick rejected the association entirely, popping up on Future and Metro Boomin's track Like That in 2024 to declare mother F the Big Three, nigga, it's just Big Me. And at that point, we could breathe a sigh of relief because we didn't have to address this Big Three shit no more. And Chris was right. Joey Badass wanted to be mentioned too on that verse. Right? Rightfully so. Wale liked it. What's going on in the chat? What's going on, right? Andy said, I never knew Drake went back and graduated. End of the day. All right. Like That initiated a rapid fire exchange of brutal diss tracks in the spring of 2024. Drake responded with push-ups, tailor-made freestyle. Kendrick dropped Euphoria, this, that, and the third, calling him a colonizer on Not Like Us. It was a whole thing. A legal battle ensued, and the rest is history. We all know what happened with that. All right? It is what it is. Let me see what else. What y'all got going on in the comments? Karen's laughing. It is what it is. Hold on, gang. We back. Bathroom break and all that. OVO shut me down. No, I'm good, Latrice. I'm good. So listen, we're not done. He said reading a chat log. No, I'm not. I can't even see it all because I'm doing this, that, and the third with this reading. So let me continue. I think we done with that. I'm not going to rehash the whole battle, but there we are. More chaos ensued. We did not have any reprieve from chaos with this Drake situation, gang. Right? Rico said, "Is it alive?" Yes, we are live. They thought I got clipped. No, I'm here. I'm here, guys. We pushing 300 in the chat. Salute. Salute. Nah, they didn't get me. Gotta do bathroom break every now and then. Right? Drake's friction with Baby Keem. Yes, Drake even has chaos with Baby Keem, guys. I can't make this stuff up. I can't make it up. I want to talk about it, right? And you guys hear me, right? We still good? Let me make sure. Yep, we still good. We still good. We ain't get clipped. Half the time I be getting clipped. You know that. They be clipping me. They be clipping me. Illy Philly said we traumatized. But he got beef with K. Dot's little cousin, guys. I can't make this shit up. It's complete chaos all over the globe with this dude. Let me explain. He was going with Baby Keem. And I just watched what's homeboy? Mike Drop TV. Mike Drop TV does a crazy breakdown. His breakdown is superb about why he believes Drake and Keem have a real serious beef that Kendrick has addressed when he was dissing Drake himself. Check out Mike Drop TV's breakdown of the Baby Keem and Drake beef. It's insane, gang. But let's talk about this because he really wanted to work with Keem. He didn't know Keem was Kendrick's cousin. He was trying to get Keem on some stuff. That's just like homeboy Lefty Gunplay. Drake wanted to work with him, right? Nobody wants to believe it. But Drake was trying to get at homeboy too before all of this stuff came out, right? You got to understand, right? And B said that's why he mentioned it on the Casino album. It's his girlfriend involved. There's a lot going on. But let me read this because there's more. Yes, gang, more chaos. Drake's friction with Baby Keem is primarily collateral damage from Drake's nuclear feud with Kendrick Lamar. He happens to be Baby Keem's older cousin and PG Lang label co-founder, right? What began as an early mutual respect deteriorated into a cold war of ghostwriting accusations, behind-the-scene blockages, and retaliatory album rollouts. Drake was initially one of the first major artists to publicly praise Baby Keem, following Baby Keem's 2019 project, Die For My Bitch. Drake reached out and openly declared it was one of his favorite albums of the year. The relationship turned sour when Kendrick used Keem's massive breakout track, Family Ties, great record, gang, great record, to take sharp subliminal shots at Drake. Rumors later circulated in the industry that Drake actively tried to DM girls associated with Keem's circle as a petty way to agitate Kendrick. Gang, chaos. When your go-to is to go to the DMs of girls related to the guy you're beefing with on a regular basis. This is not, guys, you got to understand. We got people trying to tell you this guy's the victim. We got Maul and others trying to tell you this guy's the victim. They don't mention this part. They just mention the PDF word. Somehow, some way, PDF became the worst word in the English language. It is what it is. For some reason. I don't know why. But let's keep it pushing. Let's keep it pushing. All right. The ghostwriter allegations. We got past that. No, we didn't. Hold on. 2024, during the peak of 2024 Kendrick feud, Drake fired directly at Keem on his mega diss Family Matters, turning Kendrick's favorite weapon against him. Drake rapped that Kendrick who heavily prides himself on writing his own lyrics, was actually using Baby Keem as a ghostwriter, a secret ghostwriter. And do you guys remember? I don't remember because I never clicked the video. I never clicked the narratives of saying that Kendrick had a reference track, right? There was a reference track of Kendrick, of Baby Keem, giving Kendrick some bars. I never, gang, I'm be honest, I research a lot of shit. Certain stuff I don't waste my time researching, gang. So maybe you guys clicked it and listened to it for all that. I didn't even listen to it. Didn't listen to it. There's supposedly a reference. All the pages I told you about earlier, all those pages that are pro Drake, those Olivia Pope narrative pages, right? All the flying monkeys, they ran with the narrative that there's a reference track that Baby King wrote for K. Dot. Gang, you believe that shit? I can sell you. I'll sell you Drake's Embassy. I'll sell it to you. Hit me up. I'll get the paperwork. I'll sell it to you. I own it. I'll sell it to you. All right? Because you slow. Let me continue. The industry blackout and release warfare. This is 2026. This is right now. The producer blockade. Before this is his beef with Keem. Before the beef exploded, Keem worked extensively with a producer named Janu, who is signed to Boy Wonder, one of Drake's closest OVO musical architects. Once the battle lines were drawn, OVO reportedly refused to clear any of Janu's production for Keem's imprint, PG Lane. Gang. Oh, yeah, they played dirty. Remember, they tried to get Schoolboy Q, his show canceled in Toronto. I think they got it canceled, right? This forced Keem to completely scrap a large portion of his music and restart his creative process. Gang, you got to understand. What did I just read to you? This guy blocked all of his music being petty. This is what I'm telling you with this business, gang. This is what we're talking about. This is what we're talking about. Your boy had all these tracks. Mind you, when you work with a producer, you guys have to have synergy. So they must have real good synergy. And by this battle kicking up, it destroyed a good portion of this guy's work. Starting over sucks. It sucks. He had to start over. Let me continue. When Keem announced the definitive February 2026 release for his highly anticipated album Casino, Drake immediately retaliated. Drake used his OVO promotional network to counter-program a surprise drop of his own album, Iceman, explicitly trying to step on Keem's release week as a form of proxy revenge against Kendrick. Gang, this is chaos. You're creating chaos. Despite the heavy pressure and OVO's corporate blockades, Keem stayed entirely loyal to his cousin's camp. In an interview with New York Times, Keem broke his silence on watching the Drake-Kendrick war destroy his former relationship with Drake, casually dismissing it as a competitive athletic event. He noted, quote, "For me, it felt like a sport," adding that he felt so supreme confidence in Kendrick's inevitable lyrical victory that he forgot to even be proud. Gang, that's how one-sided that beef was. He was never going to beat him, right? There's a movie called Fast and the Furious, right? And what was he calling him? The Buster, right? What's homeboy that passed away? Rest in peace to I think his name was Brian in the movie, right? Brian in the movie. Rest in peace. I can't think of his real name right now. Rest in peace. But in the movie, Vin Diesel races Brian for slips. He races for his car. And that when he ended up inevitably beating Brian, he said, they get out the car and he says, what are you grinning about? And Brian goes, I almost had you. Paul Walker. There you go. Appreciate you, Priscilla. Paul Walker goes, almost had you, almost beat you. And what Vin Diesel say? You never had me. You never had your car. I was always going to beat you. You were always going to lose. He was always going to lose, gang. He was never going to win that battle. There was no scenario. He could Doctor Strange that shit a million times. There's no scenario where he wins that. He just don't have the lyrical fortitude. It's not a diss. It's just real. He don't have the skill set. He don't have the skill set to do a meet the grams. He don't have it. It's just not there. It's not a knock on him. A lot of rappers don't have that. He was never going to beat him. Never. They was begging him, oh, we'll drop. They begging him to drop so he can lose. All right? End of the day. So let me continue. So we heard all that nonsense with Keem. That's just, I just gave you 4 rappers, 5. But we're not done. We're not done. All of this is, how do you have this much chaos in a day? In a year? In 2, like this is chaos. You got so many enemies, you can't keep up with all of them. I didn't even get to A$AP Rocky yet. Let's get to Diddy. You beefing with Diddy? Yeah, I'm beefing with Diddy too. Let's talk about it. Drake's beef with Sean Diddy Combs stems from a vicious intellectual property dispute that escalated into a physical assault at a Miami nightclub. While the two hip-hop heavyweights eventually negotiated a corporate truce, the rivalry remains famous for resulting in Drake being physically hospitalized. This is chaos, gang. But it's his own fault. Let's talk about it. The 0 to 100 track theft. This is 2014. The entire feud revolved around the hit instrumental for Drake's multi-platinum Grammy-nominated album, anthem, 0 to 100 / The Catch-Up, which there ain't nobody in this room that don't know that record. Search your mind. Can you hear Diddy on there? I can hear Diddy on there. I'm going to be honest. Drake was supposed to write his verse, I believe. Let me continue. Producer Boy Wonder originally brought the beat to Diddy during the studio session. Diddy hesitated to record it himself. He hesitated to record on it himself. So he sent the track to Drake, intended for Drake to ghostwrite a verse for him and jump on it as a featured artist. Gang, smells like money if it works, right? Smells like money. Diddy got the beat. Shit. Got Drake on it, my G. Drake gonna give me the sauce. Shit. Can't lose, right? No. It's not what happened. Drake immediately recognized the beat's massive hit potential, and instead of ghostwriting it for Diddy, Drake kept the song for himself, recorded his own verses, and then probably one of the verses he wrote for Diddy, he just said, nah, I'm going to use this too. Both of them. Just keep them both, 40. Keep them both. And unexpectedly dropped it as a free release on SoundCloud. Gang, how disrespectful. The song exploded globally, commercialized heavily, and later earned 2 Grammy nominations, deeply infuriating Diddy. Gang, we know Diddy is a piece of work. Diddy's a trash human being. But this time, right here, you guessed it. You was right. Rest in peace, the OG Mako. Is it Mako? OG Mako? Rest in peace to the homie. You guessed it. You was right. They always correct me when I say his name. They always tell me I'm saying it wrong. Correct me in the comments if I say his name wrong. Diddy's right. Now, to add more context to the story, they did say that Diddy took way too long. I'm going to be honest. They said Diddy took way too long, so Drake just did it without him. Allegedly. Now, I don't know if that's true. Let's continue. The tension exploded on December 8th, 2014 at Live nightclub in Miami during a birthday party for DJ Khaled. Diddy confronted Drake outside the club regarding the stolen beat. When Drake reportedly brushed him off and tried to walk away, Diddy snapped. You will never disrespect me, according to Diddy. Diddy struck Drake with a heavy punch backhand to the upper body. While initial internet rumors falsely claimed the fight was over Diddy's then girlfriend, Cassie, eyewitnesses and insiders confirmed it was strictly about the music rights. The physical altercation, they said it was a slap and a punch and a backhand, this, that, and the third. So Diddy went full on cartoon on him. He did some Wile E. Coyote shit. The physical altercation violently aggravated an old shoulder injury of Drake's, forcing him to be admitted to a local emergency room that night for a dislocated shoulder. Gang, that's serious. That's serious, gang. Is that old footage of Drake running back in the strip club? Is that footage? There's some footage of him pushing his way back into a club. Maybe that's that footage. So he was ready to squabble. Drake later, Chubbs ready to crash something, right? Drake later, how does this happen with Chubbs? I don't know. Let me finish. Drake later posted a subtle photo on Instagram wearing a silk robe that appeared to hide the medical sling. Gang, let me just say something. The reason I'm doing this is all so we can all remember what's going on. What's going on, right? We forget these things when we having these conversations. Diddy dislocated your boy's shoulder. He had to go to the hospital, gang. Karen said, boom, bop, bam. Yes. Dislocated shoulder by Diddy, gang. Let's see if Challz really crashed something, right? TT said, Live is not a strip club. I don't know what kind of club he was pushing himself back into. I'm going to be honest. I said strip club because they always at strip club, right? But there's footage of Drake pushing his way back into a club. But he couldn't have did that with a dislocated shoulder. Wasn't no pushing. Wasn't no pushing at all, right? End of the day. And OGT Bella, you right, document the culture because they definitely trying to change the story. Imagine, who remembers that? I don't remember that he had a dislocated shoulder, went to the hospital, took a picture in a robe. I don't remember that shit, gang. I don't remember that. I don't remember that. That's why we doing this video. Chaos, gang. Pure chaos. Let me finish. The Rap-A-Lot retaliation and subliminals. Okay? Following the physical altercation, Drake's camp and street ties mobilized. Okay, record executive and Rap-A-Lot founder Jay Prince, who acts as Drake's secret muscle, street muscle, and industry protector, released notorious courtesy call. He released a notorious courtesy call audio track where he explicitly threatened Diddy and his associates, warning that that any further physical disrespect toward Drake will be met with severe real-world consequences. Gang, this is all, like the company man say, is all happening, gang. This all happened. This is documented. You forget this stuff happened, gang. Can't remember everything. So in 2016, Drake took his revenge to the booth. He released a highly calculated subliminal track called 4 p.m. in Calabasas, weaponizing Bad Boy Records' own multi-layer production style and flows to mock Diddy's ad-libs, rewriting history to portray Diddy as a fading industry dinosaur trying to police a younger king. Gang, that's all in 4 p.m. in Calabasas, right? Remember Charlamagne asked Diddy if he slapped Drake. He said, I ain't do nothing to Drake. But apparently Drake feels differently, and he dissed him and made him appear to be a fading industry dinosaur. All right? We are not done. We're not done. Queen B said he played that shit off. That's when he went to get those dinner roll abs, but blamed it on the slap. You guys choosing violence today. In May 2015, the two had officially squashed the beef behind closed doors via a personal phone call brokered by mutual business managers. But he still dropped 4 p.m. in Calabasas in 2016. Imagine that. Realizing they were booked for the same massive summer festivals and parties, they chose to prioritize corporate revenue over street warfare. Diddy later went on The Breakfast Club to publicly deny that he ever put hands on Drake, claiming it was just a massive creative misunderstanding. Okay? So, gang, that's more chaos. I don't know what else I got to tell you to prove that Drake is nonstop chaos. Deserved or otherwise. He stole your boy beat, put it out on SoundCloud of all things, and got 2 Grammys for it. guys. I don't know. I don't know. I got people thinking that you reaching Challz. I don't know. This is a chaotic man. Got a lot of chaos going on. And we just scratching the surface, right? Beneath the surface, right? We just getting below the surface. I want to know what my worth is, right? Let's go. Now, let's get to Cole. Oh, yeah. Let's get to J. Cole. Because some of you think that Drake got beef with Cole. Wonder why. I've seen some comments online from the flying monkeys. I would never forgive J. Cole. I think Academics said he would never forgive J. Cole. Oh, these flying monkeys flying all around. Right? Flying monkeys flying all around. They would never forgive J. Cole. Poor J. Cole. Right? He just want to wash his Lambo truck and eat at the diner and ride his bike. He don't want to do nothing to nobody. Right? What you gonna do, Cole? Allegedly, Drake even has beef with J. Cole. And it hit me, gang. I think it might have been this morning, gang. You know how a light bulb go off in your mind? As I was thinking about this story, I said, Challz, oh my God, how come you didn't see this? We all touched on it before. Everybody said it, but it really hit me this morning. I said, Challz, this chaotic nigga gassed Cole up and made him jump out there. We all thought that a little bit, but now it's obvious. He wound up Cole, and I said it before, but now it's really real. When you look at all this, because once you realize, once Cole, he wound his back and put a battery in him. He wound him up and sent him out there. Pupperized him. I'm be honest. And now he's left to deal with it. Cole don't want nothing. He want peace. And Drake got his flying monkeys all over him, gang. Let me continue. Remember, they was trying to come at him for the fall off. They was out on all full force when he did them interviews. They was on his ass. Drake's beef with J. Cole is unique because it did not start out of hatred, but rather out of professional abandonment and a broken alliance. For over a decade, the two maintained a close, supportive friendship, but Drake felt deeply betrayed by Cole when he pulled out of the 2024 Kendrick Lamar war, leaving Drake to face the entire rap industry alone. Gang, before I read any further, what was Cole supposed to do? After he backed out, even before he backed out, was he supposed to take on the whole industry too? He really had no beef with anybody. Shouldn't have made the record in the first place. I say that 100 times. Shouldn't be no 7-minute drill record. But they wanted this narrative that he left him alone. He didn't leave him alone. He just left. He didn't leave Drake alone. He just left. And I know what the narrative is. Nah, son, you left him out there. So they supposed to jump Dot. They supposed to jump him? Got it. Let me finish. The modern conflict ironically began as a celebration of their success. In October 2023, Drake and J. Cole collaborated on the massive hit track, First Person Shooter, which earned Cole his first ever Billboard Hot Number 100 #1 single. Right? On the track, Cole saluted Drake and Kendrick, rapping, "We the big three like we started the league." This line directly provoked Kendrick Lamar, who rejected the grouping on the track like that, declaring Mother F the big three is just big me. Gang, you got to understand too. Cole has went on to say that they reached out to Dot and Dot turned it down. So Dot is allegedly supposed to be on that record too. And he did it anyway. Right? That's Cole trying to heal the situation. He said, come on, bro. He's talking to Drake like, come on, bro. Let's bring Dot in. Let's heal this. Enough is enough. It's 10 years. Let's heal this. You can't still be mad at bro. You my bro. He my bro. You can't still, come on, B. All right, put it like this. Just do this for me. Text him. Group text. We're going to text him. We got the old group chat. It's still there. Still got the same number. Text him. Right? And allegedly Cole said he put them both on a group text one time. They both got super pissed at him. This was before the battle. But he said, listen, I'm gonna throw some feelers out, see if he do the record. Send him the beat. And Drake said, you know what? For you, hit it up. I'm not gonna say nothing in the chat. Just hit it up. Tiptoe Joe with the jewels. Running jewels today. I hope I ain't missed no other jewels. Oh, I did. Intrepid Vixen with the jewels. Nick Mick. We running jewels today. Running the jewels. If I missed any jewels or super chats, let me know. Let me know. Right? Let me know. All right, so listen. Let me continue because it's more. But wait, there's more. There is more. It's a lot. It is a lot, right? Couch Potatoes Dot says she. Hey, number one ultra perm. Let me continue. So, when Kendrick attacked them both, Drake expected J. Cole to stand shoulder to shoulder with him in the battle. Remember he said that was some weak shit. Cole initially fired back at Dot with a warning shot track titled 7-Minute Drill. Just days later at his 2024 Dreamville Festival, however, Cole shocked the hip-hop world by publicly apologizing to Kendrick, calling his own diss track the lamest, goofiest thing I'd ever done, and completely scrubbing the song from streaming platforms. He took a couple days to do that, though, gang. And he took a couple days. He let that shit run up a little bit. I'm just going to be honest. Don't mind me. Cole effectively bowed out of the war to preserve his peace. By stepping aside, he left Drake entirely isolated as Kendrick, Future, Metro Boomin, and a dozen other artists systematically targeting him. Gang, listen, what does the world look like if Cole stays in and starts dissing those rappers for no reason to defend Drake? How crazy does that look? I don't even want to think about it, right? The tension has since played out through passive-aggressive records, signaling that their once-tight friendship is dead. On Port Antonio, J. Cole broke his silence, explaining that he chose brotherly love over corporate blood sport. He rapped, I wouldn't have lost a battle, I would have lost a bro. And all for what? Right? That was Cole's initial thoughts in that love letter to Drake that we like to call Port Antonio, or vice versa. Port Antonio, the love letter to Drake. Then on Make Them Pay, Drake finally aired out his true resentment on his album Iceman. In the song Make Them Pay, Drake directly attacked Cole's exit, rapping F a Big 3 anyway, and accusing Cole of running the veteran figures like Jay-Z to talk his way out of a war that he helped start. Chaos, gang. Chaos. Allegedly slept with Lil Wayne's girl, this, that, and the third. Chaos, gang. It's just a life full of chaos, gambling, girls, right? CNI said, I think he left it up for 7 days. O said Cole lost a bro, a friend, and fans. It's wild, gang. It's chaotic, to say the least. He got academics out here caping, this, that, and the third. Let's get to Jay-Z. We didn't get to Hove. We did not get to Hove. Yes, there's still more chaos to cover, gang. This I could go on. There's at least another dozen rappers, but let's get to Jay-Z. The beef between Drake and Jay-Z is a subliminal Cold War over rap supremacy. It's quietly spanned nearly 2 decades. Unlike Drake's explosive, shouting match fused with Kendrick Lamar or Pusha T, his rivalry with Jay-Z is a highly sophisticated, chess-like battle of wits, fraught through hidden lyrical digs, art world elitism, and passive-aggressive sports metaphors. Gang, buckle up. This one is a little more extensive, right? It's a little more extensive. It reaches it takes a longer time to detail the Hove Drake beef. So I would say get you some vanilla wafers. Shit, you might got time to make a whole banana pudding. I'm going to keep it a buck. I like banana pudding too. You got to use the soft bananas. Can't use the hard-ass bananas, right? TT Santiago said it best. I'm exhausted. I forgot about some of these and some I don't even recall. Pure chaos. Yes, gang, it's chaos. It is unadulterated chaos. This guy can't even keep up with all the nonsense. The beef between Drake and Jay-Z is a subliminal Cold War over rap supremacy that quietly spanned nearly 2 decades, right? The Blueprint 3 cosign. So we're going to get to that. Jay-Z embraced Drake initially as a clear heir apparent to the hip-hop throne. In 2009, Jay-Z featured a rising Drake on his album track, Off That. Remember that song? Well, we off that, right? When Jay-Z was saying he was off of button-ups, I believe, well, no, was it the rims? He wasn't putting rims on his car no more, and all these things. He was off of this, off of that. He was moving on to the next. He put Drake on the hook, right? Some thought it was a slight. Didn't let Drake rap. Some people took it as a disrespect, but he just wanted them on the hook. And Drake did his job. He was uncomfortable on the hook because the beat is kind of fast. It is what it is. I like the Blueprint 3, though. I'm that guy. I like almost all his whole album. Let's be honest. All right. Now, that was 2009. But by 2010, there was a slight warning, right? On Drake's 2010 debut album, Thank Me Later, Jay-Z guest starred on Light Up, Light It Up, wait until the sun go down, we gonna make this bitch light up, even when the sun go down. Remember that? If that's the right record. On the track, Jay-Z prophetically warned a young Drake that his sudden, massive success would inevitably turn his peers against him, rapping, arrogant element, watch your friends close, everyone's a critic, everyone's a ghost. He actually said more than that, right? He said more than that. But that was Jay warning Drake that he was going to have people coming at him, coming after him, trying to bait him into this, that, and the third. Okay? Oh, I got a Kick comment. Somebody's watching on Kick. Send ye fool. We got a Kick. Shit, what might be the first view on Kick? Second, right? Salute to Sin on Kick. Appreciate you tapping in. All right. Let me continue. Shout out to Kick. Let me see. So, everyone's a critic. All right. The art world escalation. So, you know they had more subliminals between 2010 and then, right? But by 2014, there was a full-on little back and forth with these guys. Drake was feeling big bone and broad, like he was feeling like, I'm the man, I got to take out the man, or at least let him respect me. He's on that record with Lil Wayne, Eminem, and Kanye. At that point, what can you tell the guy? I want this forever, man, right? You can't tell him really nothing. He's on his way up. All right? The relationship permanently cracked in 2014 when Drake publicly mocked Jay-Z's sudden obsession with high-end fine art and elite gallery culture. There's only one way to go up when you get money. You got to find more things to buy. Rich people buy stuff like that because it ain't much else to do with your money. So they spend it on high-end fine art and elite gallery culture. They're bragging with paintings at that point. Jay was bragging with paintings. I got your house on my wall. Jay was saying stuff like that. And apparently Drake wasn't ready to deal with that, so he started to clown it. When you can't do it, you clown it, or you don't understand it. In a 2014 Rolling Stone interview, Drake complained about the older generation's lyricism, taking a direct shot at Jay-Z. Quote, it's like Hove can't drop bars these days without at least 4 art references. It's getting a little repetitive. Gang, right there. Why? Why? Chaos. I want to know who started this video saying Challz is reaching. He reaching. Here you go. Contact. He want content. I think I may be at 10, at least 10 rappers. Minimum. Right? Sin said, I got the link from Lincoln Smith the way from South Africa, all the way from South Africa. Salute to South Africa, my peoples, right? I think my DNA or my 23andMe, I think I'm 82% South Africa or West Africa, right? Keep it pushing. The word, the we made it retaliation, right? Full on. By then they was already back and forth. But Jay retaliated. Jay-Z immediately struck back on a remix of We Made It, weaponizing his staggering wealth to belittle Drake's status. Sorry, Miss Drizzy, for so much art talk. Silly me, repping about shit I really bought. One thing Jay has learned, to not let you one-up him, especially when it comes to him talking about his money. He gonna clown you. He gonna make you look silly when you try to retaliate by saying this guy always talking about rich stuff. Drake lost that exchange. I think Drake may have lost all the exchanges. I'm just gonna be honest. I think he lost every exchange, right? Let's continue. So 2015 through 2018, the personal tension extended into a brutal multi-million-dollar streaming war. Apple versus Tidal. When Drake signed an exclusive historic $19 million streaming and promotional partnership with Apple Music, he placed himself in direct competition with Tidal, the music streaming platform Jay-Z had just personally purchased and launched. We don't know why Drake didn't go with Jay-Z. There's rumors that what's homeboy's name? Is it Wayne? No. Jackson, some shit like that. Larry Jackson. Allegedly, Larry Jackson talked Drake into the exec for Apple Music, talked Drake into coming over to Apple instead of Tidal, and that somehow made Jay-Z really mad, and he never forgot it, right? According to academics and others, right? So Larry Johnson allegedly pulled Drake out of what was essentially, he was supposed to join Tidal. We never really got confirmation why he didn't join Tidal. But he went to Apple instead and became a direct competitor. All right? So that was that, and we all saw that was a point of contention, right, with Jay-Z and Drake. That's not the last one. The passive-aggressive collabs. What we also know is, even though these dudes were passive-aggressive, Hope would still pop up. Strategic, because he know Drake is popping. I can pop up on there. I'm still Hope, but I can steal some more of his fans. It's just strategic. Despite the underlying corporate friction, the two continued to trade tracks like Pound Cake and Talk Up. They kept collabing, even though there's friction. I believe Drake even wrote for Beyonce and this, that, and the third. She still was cool with Drake, just like SZA was still cool with Drake. He got away with the ladies, right? Listeners quickly noticed that instead of collaborating, they were using these joint tracks subtly, to subtly out-rap, mock, and trade passive-aggressive barbs over each other's business models. Imagine that. You getting on the guy track to diss him. Gang, I can't make this up. This is a guy in full-on chaos. You may say, well, Hove is doing it too, but Hove don't got as many guys that he does this with. He dump in, he step in, do his little 1-2 step out. Drake is just subliminally dissing everybody in the business at this point, right? Industry rumors strongly suggested, this is by 2024, strongly suggested that Jay-Z and his entertainment company, Roc Nation, were quietly pulling the strings behind the massive industry dogpile against Drake. Specifically, sources allege Roc Nation actively helped secure Kendrick Lamar's controversial 2025 Super Bowl halftime slot. Well, why is that? Why? What? That's not a secret. He did. Jay-Z put him on the Super Bowl. A massive platform Kendrick used to broadcast his anti-Drake anthems globally. Okay. like Baby King say, okay, right? Drake finally aired his deep-seated corporate resentment on his 2026 album Iceman. On the track Make Them Pay, Drake aggressively went after J. Cole for fleeing their rap war, and he explicitly accusing J. Cole running straight to Hove, right? So he brought in Jay-Z when he's dissing J. Cole. to negotiate a truce because Cole didn't have the stomach to fight a war against the industry's older gatekeeper. So at that point, he's calling Jay-Z a gatekeeper and he calling Cole scary. All right. End of the day. Salute to Sims in the chat. Appreciate you, Miss Tiny, everybody that's in the chat. Team Dog, da-da-da-da. It's a lot. So that's just Jay-Z. Gang, before we get out of here, I'm going to do one more. I think I did enough, but no. One more. Let me get there. Let me get there. Let me get there. Last but not least, I'm not doing no more because I think we did enough. Last on the agenda, before we wrap this thing up, ASAP Rocky. ASAP Rocky. Remember his fans, Drake fans were celebrating when they thought that what's it called? Are You Dumb? The album? They thought it was going to flop. They thought it was going to flop, right? They were extremely excited because they thought the album was going to flop. It was it Don't Be Dumb or Are You Dumb? One or the other. One or the other. I don't remember the exact name of the album, right? Very eclectic album, a lot going on. But let's get to this. The last rapper, because we could keep going. It's more with just nonsense chaos. Pupperizing academics, this, that, and the third. ASAP actually sat down with Act, trying to reverse course on this nonsense. The beef between Drake and ASAP Rocky is fundamentally a frustrated battle over romantic history with global icon Rihanna. I think we know this, right? Can we safely say that that's what that's over? Andy Pandy Pie. It's Don't Be Dumb, right? What I say? Did I say Don't Be Dumb? I might have said Are You Dumb, right? That's my Remy Ma. Are You Dumb? It's Don't Be Dumb. Salute, right? Let's get to that. Beautiful one with the Jews. Appreciate you with the Jews. Run the Jews, people. Appreciate you. So let's get to that, right? And incidentally, on a side note, Azalea Banks just said ASAP Rocky is the worst rapper ever in the history of rap. She said ASAP Rocky is the worst. So Azalea Banks, what I learned this morning that she used to date him, so that might be part of that. All right. I don't know Azalea Banks' history. I don't know who she's dating, gang. I'm gonna be honest. Let me continue. This has spiraled into an ongoing trade of aggressive album disses, though they were close collaborators in the early 2010s, with Drake even inviting Rocky onto his Club Paradise tour. The relationship dissolved entirely into what Rocky has publicly dismissed as petty, soft, female shit. Gang, let me just say this. C and I with the Jews. Let me just say this, right? That fucking Problems record, gang. And I think my guy is a little, he wanted a verse on there. They just took his hook, right? I like I got a fucking problem, right? That fucking record to this day, one of the hardest records ever. I put it on every like 6 to 8 months just to size it up, just to try to point out that it's trash. No. That fucking Problems record, right? Insane. That's one of the top collabs in history. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you guys. 2 Chainz. The hook is crazy. They just talked to 2 Chainz about that hook. He said he didn't even know they was going to use it. That was an unreleased record that Drake did with 2 Chainz. Didn't even put the record out. Somehow they would listen to it. They took that little hook, made a whole new record. And 2 Chainz, I think he might be on the remix or something. I don't know. Just a side note. Hard ass record, gang. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. Hard ass record. Can't say nothing about that record. All right. Yeah. Dot on it. We know. Dot, Drake, ASAP, 2 Chainz. 2 Chainz on the hook. One of the hardest videos you ever seen. I think the shit pushing 1 billion. Almost got 1 billion views. I'm not sure. Hard ass record. Let me continue though. 2010s was different. 2010s was different. The root cause, Rihanna, and the 2020 pivot. While the public beef materialized later, Rocky revealed in a series of media interviews that the bad blood started exactly on Yams Day in January 2020. Rocky and Rihanna had just privately locked in their relationship. Rocky noted that despite Drake acting friendly and gifting him a custom ASAP Yams chain, Drake immediately began throwing subliminal, insecure shots behind the scenes once the relationship became official. Gang, this is the definition of a petty N-word. You see that the man got with the girl and you start throwing shots. Chaos, gang. Who does that? Who does that? Drake and Rihanna shared a heavily publicized on and off again history throughout the 2010s. Drake notably triggered the lyrical war by shading Rihanna on his 2023 album track, Fear of Heights, rapping about how their past physical intimacy was average and claiming he was glad to be rid of her. Guys, I don't think nobody comes this close. The only worst person in this gang might be Irv Gotti with Ashanti. I'm going to keep it a buck. Rest in peace, Irv Gotti. Might be nobody worse than Irv with Ashanti. But this is pretty goddamn close, gang. This is awful. She's average, and you glad to be rid of her. And I stand on this, and I'm almost certain you guys probably already know this, that Needed Me is about Drake. Rihanna's Needed Me, right? Let me continue. The 2024-2025 diss exchanges. Frustrated by Drake's continued shots at his partner, Rocky officially entered the multi-artist dogpile against Drake, right? Show of hands, in 2024, Rocky popped out on Future and Metro Boomin's collaborative project to explicitly mock Drake. He bragged about his family life with Rihanna and claimed that he permanently stole her from Drake while taking jabs at Drake's latest musical outputs, right? Lot going on, gang. Lot going on. It's Shady said, I never believed Drake was a good lay. Gang, that might be the wildest comment I've ever seen. Ever. That's wild. That's hilarious. Gang, that's hilarious. That's funny, gang. I'm going to keep it a buck. I'm going to keep it a buck. That got me chuckling, gang. Let me keep this pushing. Family Matters. Drake retaliated with a vicious direct response targeting Rocky's real name, Rakim. Drake mocked Rocky's career transition into fashion over to music, claiming people only talk about his clothes and rap. Rakim talking shit again. First, do the math. Who was I hitting then? Okay. In 2026, the album wars continued with "Don't Be Dumb" versus Iceman. All right. Hold on. Let me check the chats real quick. David said Drake the diva, and she and Shay said I'm still traumatized. Right. This still go. Oh, it's still going. It still gets worse, gang. Let's keep it pushing. Somebody said Gemini. Who's the Gemini? Drake the Gemini? I'm not sure who's the Gemini. Maybe Drake is the Gemini or A$AP Rocky's the Gemini or both. Let me continue. The feud reached maximum saturation with back-to-back album drops, keeping the internet locked into their personal timeline. Stole Your Flow. Rocky dropped his highly anticipated album, Don't Be Dumb, leading with the track Stole Your Flow. He alleged that Drake built his career copying his New York cadence and chopped and screwed style, rapping, first you stole my flow, so I stole your bitch. Iceman is where Drake retaliated. He dedicated several severe portions of his triple album rollout to entirely dismantle Rocky. On Burning Bridges, Drake mocked Rocky's commercial reach, rapping that his own baby mama, Rihanna, wouldn't even post his album single on her Instagram. On Firm Friends, Drake went explicitly nuclear, rapping KYSASAP. That's some shit you couldn't do for me. I don't know if that's nuclear. Maybe there's more to that rhyme that I'm missing. I don't know, right? I don't know, right? But somehow, some way, this overview is saying that Drake went nuclear. I don't know if that's the rhyme he went nuclear on. I don't know, right? Running the jewels, keep Drake away from a high school. That's the funniest name ever. Run the jewels. Gang, y'all choosing a wild level of violence today. This is a wild level of violence. All right. The public defiance. Rocky clarified during interviews with Ebro, Darden, and DJ Academics that while there is no real street smoke or physical danger, he simply has zero respect for Drake left. He summarized Drake's behavior as an embarrassing inability to move on from a past relationship. Meanwhile, the conflict has officially spilled into their live tours. At a Seattle concert, Rocky proudly held up a fan sign that read, "This cutie smoked all three of your fucking fuck albums." They blurted it out. I'm gonna go with fuck nigga albums or something like that. Fucking albums. Sending a final laughing shot at Drake's historic uh May output. So he's talking about Hibbity Bibbity, Maid of Honor, and Iceman. Someone in the crowd was saying that Don't Be Dumb smoked all three of those, right? That's the end of that. I think we proved enough. I don't think I need to do any more talking. I could literally go another hour. Talking about the chaos that is Drake in this music business, hip hop business, for lack of a better word, right? Intrepid Vixen said, "Delete It does a great video on Drake's obsession with Rihanna. It is obsession at this point, just like Irv Gotti. It's obsession, gang. I'm gonna keep it a buck." Poison Ivy said, "Keep Drake away, even if he's a woman. No men don't want him." Gang, you guys are going nuts today. And this thing, your music diva says he a fan. Gang, I don't know what else I got to prove. This is a court of law. I think it would be an open and shut case. I think it would be over. This is undeniable evidence that your boy is chaos. I didn't even get into him pupperizing academics to be a gambling streamer, which he never was before. He never got around Drake until he started gambling on stake. Then he got the OVO chain and 2 dinner visits. All that came because now he can make Drake money. Whoever Drake brings in the stake, Drake gets kickback. So academics now is he's viable now because he's gambling and he's in the mix. He's pushing that stake company. That's what Drake wanted him for. So now he can probably end up with an interview soon. He's just gonna tell him what he can and can't ask. All right. So I'm not even gonna get into that. I'm not gonna get into all the puppet strings on Maul. He lay up with Maul. Maul lay down belly first at late night with the phone to his ear, talking to Drake up to like 1:30, 2 o'clock, talking about Dot and everybody else. You know what this dude Maul said? Yo, when Jay-Z, gang, Maul's so disrespectful. When Jay-Z came out with the afro, you know what Maul said? Me and Drake was laughing. No. I'm not gonna say he said me and Drake. He said Drake. I'm not gonna say Maul was laughing. He said Drake was laughing and said, "What's up with his hair?" So when Hove came out at the Roots picnic with the fro, right? Allegedly, Maul got a call from Drake, and Drake said, "What's up with your boy's hair?" And Maul's supposed to be Rockefeller. He calls Hove Big Bro. But somehow he's telling jokes about Hove's hair, didn't go to the shows because quote unquote, I didn't want to see him go out like that. I knew it was his last run. Maul tried to tell everybody that he knows Hove is wrapping it up. He's packing it up. And he don't want to see Hove go. It's too emotional, is what he's insinuating. It's too emotional. So he didn't want to go to the concerts in Yankee Stadium. They're too emotional. Emotional damage, right? He didn't want to go. So we're supposed to believe that he's not being pupperized. It's a whole string. It's puppet strings all over the world. This guy full of chaos, and we ain't even getting to all the underworld chaos with top 5 and this, that, and the third, all the mob ties and shit. We're not even getting into that. That's even more chaos. I can't imagine what this guy's phone look like. It's probably nonsense, chaos, and confusion all day. This, that, and the third. Gang, listen. I've done enough talking. I appreciate you guys for watching, tuning in. Appreciate the chat. Your Music Diva, Queen B, Modcast, Podcast Sims, Latrice, Intrepid Vixen, Poison Ivy, C&I, Lincoln Smith, Your Music Diva, Flash Burnt, TT Santiago. I'm sure Karen's in here. Bethany was here, I believe. It was a lot going on. Lot going on. All right. Dots, Fave Center, right? Had a lot of people in here. We appreciate you guys, right? and OGT Bella, oh yeah, we didn't even touch on top 5. How much chaos he had him run. I think about 5 years straight. Drake had top 5 out here causing all kind of ruckus, just chaos and ruckus. To the point, people like Whack 100 was like, you better get from around him. He gonna get you locked up. Just chaos, gang. I think I proved the point, right? I think I proved the point. Salute to Joyce. Beautiful one in the chat with the Jews, running Jews. Tanya said it was a lot of fun. Positively Pepper Jones. All right. Guys, thank you for tuning in. I'll be back tomorrow morning, Friday, 8 a.m. The last show of the week, the last this, that, and the third. You know what I gotta say before I get out of here? Head on over to my guys, black-yeti.com. Let them know who sent you. They ship all over the continental U.S. Okay? That's my peeps. Let me see. Chapo in the building. Ghost Gaming in the building. All right. We're gonna keep it pushing with this. I just got this merch. The merch is up. This, that, and the third. It should be in the link. I noticed this morning that my links below for the merch was a bad link. For like the last four videos, the link was bad. So the link has been fixed. You can get that on my CLBMG spread shop, but it's mugs, it's aprons, it's hats, all kind of good shit like that there. And people have been ordering them orders. Somebody said they got their hat in they got their gray tee in 3 days. So the this, that, and the third merch is on and popping. For the people who watch my show in the morning and they love that intro, right? That is a real song off of Addition by Subtraction by my guy 4 Eyes, the Ugly Professor. It's real hip hop. If you don't like real hip hop, don't go play it. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's backpack, it's hip hop, it's some old man shit, it's some real, it's bars, it's some young rappers on it too. He produced it. He got a thoroughbred of MCs, such as myself. I got several verses on here. Go download this album, Addition by Subtraction by 4 Eyes, the Ugly Professor. He even got it on Bandcamp. If you really want support, he got it on Bandcamp where you can buy it. All right. Lock in, tap in. What O said, hey, can you adjust the logos and add more logos? Say less. Oh, you got it. Matter of fact, if you even want to go a step further, tell me which ones you need to adjust. All right, it is what it is. Gang, I'm out of here. Lincoln said, can you get the merch delivered to South Africa? I'm sure there's a way to do it. When you hit it up, type in South Africa as a delivery, and they'll tell you what they can do. All right. Queen Liquid said the What Show should be a weekly recap show. What Show's coming back? That's coming back. We come back strong. I'm rearranging the studio. Me, TJ, and Flares, we coming back, and we gonna get dumb. Right? Morty said the album is dope. Salute to Morty for tapping in with the album. It's called Addition by Subtraction. Gang, listen. I got to go live some more life. I got to start lifing. I got things going on, but I will probably drop at least one, maybe 2 more videos before the night is over, right? Tam, salute to you. Appreciate you. Blessings to everyone. Guys, I don't want to cut myself off. Girly Jock said I always cut myself off. I'm going to try not to. But when I hit in stream, I can't control where it stops, right? I can't control where it stops. O said adjust them in the store. I know what you meant. O. You said adjust them in the store. I did adjust them all, but they can be tweaked. Sim said I miss TJ and Flares. They coming back. It's still rocking. All right. We on a summer break, but we coming back. So gang, listen, I appreciate you all. I don't got nothing else to talk about. We got that album, The What Show. BTJ and Flair, the What Project. Go listen to that. And we just filmed a new video. I filmed I filmed it. I gotta edit it. I got a lot of shit going on, but I'm about to edit this video. This one's a smacker. It's a video for Cruel Summer. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put myself under some real pressure. I'm gonna try to have that video completed and drop by Monday, gang. Just gonna be honest. I'm pressurizing myself, but we're gonna drop a deluxe version of the What Project. A lot of you were very receptive to that project. We got about 4 videos for that project, and lock in, man. Listen, I'm out.